Greetings and welcome to the December rendition of Where in the World is the Tonsk Report. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. Just want to give you a little history of the Education for All Handicapped Children Act, otherwise known as Public Law 94-142, that was signed into law on November 29, 1975 by President Gerald Ford. This legislation is considered the Bill of Rights for children with disabilities and their families. The legislation incorporated 6 major components or guarantees that have forever changed the landscape of education across the United States. These components include a free and appropriate public education known as FAPE. So all children, regardless of the severity of the disability, must be provided an education appropriate to their unique needs at no cost to the parent or guardians. Included in this principle is the concept of related services, which requires that children receive other services as determined educationally necessary to benefit from special education. These related services may include occupational therapy, physical therapy, orientation and mobility instruction, and a host of other support services. The least restrictive environment, or LRE. Children with disabilities are to be educated to the maximum extent appropriate with students without disabilities. Placements must be consistent with the pupil's educational needs. Each state is required to provide a full continuum of alternate placements. An individualized education program, or IEP. This document, developed with the parents, is an individually tailored statement describing an educational plan for each learner with exceptionalities. The IEP is required to address the present level of academic functioning, annual goals and accompanying instructional objectives, educational services to be provided, the degree to which the pupil will be able to participate in general education programs, plans for initiating services and the length of service delivery, and an annual evaluation procedure specifying objective criteria to determine if instructional objectives are being met, or an annual IEP review. Procedural due process. The Act afforded parents or guardians several safeguards pertaining to the child's education. Briefly, parents or guardians have the right to confidentiality of records, to examine all records, to obtain an independent evaluation, to receive written notification of proposed changes in the child's educational classification or placement, and the right to an impartial hearing whenever disagreements arise regarding educational plans for the child. Furthermore, the student's parents or guardians have the right to representation of legal counsel. Non-discriminatory assessment. Prior to placement, a child must be evaluated by a multidisciplinary team in all areas of suspected disability by tests that are not racially, culturally, or linguistically biased. Students are to receive several types of assessments administered by trained personnel. A single evaluation procedure is not permitted for either planning or placement purposes. Lastly, parental participation. Public Law 94-142 mandates meaningful parent involvement. This legislation requires that parents participate fully in the decision-making process that affects the child's education. So there you have it. Public Law 94-142, enacted back in 1975. That's the theme of this month's Tonsk Report. The first person to correctly identify my location, theme, and this special message, Feliz Navidad, wins the prize. Peace.